to the game tonight?
Oh, I'm excited.
Dexter, who's this? Come see. Who is it?
Dexter!
Who's it, Dylan?
Hi, Dexter.
Dexter!
Okay. So I think it's working now. Ricky, do me a favor. Dylan, open up YouTube on your phone and go to our web page, go to our YouTube channel. And also connect your headphones, so listen to the audio through your headphones real quick and tell me how the audio sounds through the stream, because we're live right now.
We're live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, again, it's fine because this is our first time doing this. Nobody knew we were going to be doing this. So.
Well, it's not even that delayed either. It's kind of like what you just said here.
How's the audio?
Hold on. Mine isn't really working that well. Yours is good.
Huh.
Mine's not as loud as yours. Mine's not as
I'm going to go into...
See if you get this too. I'm going to comment.
Yeah,
I just
see
commented
that.
on our channel.
Tap on your microphone. Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Hello, hello, hello! Okay, I see which one's yours.
Hello, hello, hello.
Is your audio going up?
Mine's not really working. When I put it up to my mouth like this, it's working better, but it's still, like, even when I tap it, you can't hear the tapping. When you tapped yours, I heard it. Okay, now it's working better.
Yeah. Okay, now tell me if this works when I switch. Did it switch? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, now you're on you.
Okay, cool. And now it should be back on you.
Yep, now you're on me. There is a delay, but...
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a safety feature, I think.
Okay, so I guess we'll just do a little introduction as far as what we're doing. Or maybe we'll do it this way instead of we'll do it the Nick Shirley way. Like hold your
Hold the mic.
Yeah, we'll just do it that way for now until we figure out. So like every time, you're gonna say something, just
hold it to the mic.
Hold it to the mic.
And then
so
not just place it down.
So I guess welcome to the start of this YouTube series.
Yeah.
The whole point of this in particular is for anybody that has never read the Bible. And I mean, I've read bits and pieces of it. I've read some books, some chapters from other books, but I've never read through it from start to finish.
Mainly the New Testament.
Remember to look into the camera.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's fine. It's fine. This is our first rodeo this time. So mainly the ultimate goal is, people can come in and start reading along with us. And if you have any questions or comments, that is the main driving force of what we're trying to do is just kind of read through it at a slow pace. We're not going to read through a lot at any given time every week. We're just going to read through we're going to start with the book of Genesis. We'll probably read maybe the first 2 or 3 chapters and just kind of talk about what it means to us and stuff.
Just read it, discuss, figure out what we think it is, what it means, and hopefully once we get a lot more viewers, we can actually sit down and read the comments aloud and actually discuss together as a whole group.
Yeah. So, with that, we will go ahead and begin.
DJs, anybody need anything?
We are live on this right now. So, beginning with the Old Testament, we're going to open up to the beginning of the book of Genesis.
All right, that works.
So, I guess the way we'll do this, maybe I'll read the first chapter. Let's see. We've got let's go through the first 2 chapters for this first video this week.
Okay.
So I'll read one, and then you'll read the other.
Okay.
So I'll start. So we are starting with Genesis, chapter 1. This is the first book of Moses, and it's the history of creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. It's an interesting statement.
Yeah.
Or line. See, for me, I'm going to put a little note here, because I would want to dive more deeply into specifically what is a firmament. So I'm going to write down. That is sort of my question already for the day. Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I kind of answered the question right after.
There you go.
So the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that, and it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it was so. See, now I'm going to pause there for a brief second real quick. Can you do me a big favor and just let him out on the runner?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a 3-year-old beagle that decided that he wanted to go outside right now. And that while you're doing that, that just kind of gives, you can still listen too while you're over there. And then you can comment when you come back. But that, I think, to me, so it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. I'm going to read that again, because to me, that's the verse that people who partake in the smoking of marijuana use that as one of the things that, it's a seed-bearing plant. I'm going to read that one more time, and let's... Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it was so.
Yep.
I mean, I could see how it was, how people can derive that as a...
Now, people could also bring that out of context, because they could have also... He could have probably meant it as, we could use it, but not in the way, just as in alcohol, it says drink not to get drunk. Maybe in the same way we're supposed to use it, but not to get high.
Well, exactly. I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so now we're on verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed, according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself, according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens, to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars
Also,
he made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, so the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God said, let the waters abound. Let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. So God created great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to its kind." And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. I understand why it's written this way, but I've noticed a lot as we're reading through just the first chapter, a lot of repetitiveness. Like some things are like said multiple times.
well, I think it's just explaining that to be in God's image, it has to be perfect. And therefore, at this time, it's before Adam and Eve, and it's before they have sinned, which had taken away from the perfection. So I think everything that he's created has been in his image, which means, or his kind, which shows it was perfect. So it's just reiterating over and over, okay, this was perfect. At one point, this was perfect. It's just trying to explain that.
Yeah, no. I get that. I just thought it was funny that it's like multiple times it's like where am I going from? Bring forth a living creature, cattle, and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to a kind. And then God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps. It's just funny how it repeats things in each thing. I mean, I guess it's
just
it
reiterating
makes sense.
itself.
Yeah, it's just reiterating it. But all right, so verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So I'm going to pause right there for a quick second, because I'm going to go back to, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. So to me, I'm wondering if everybody might interpret that as something different too. Because to me, does that mean that when we go to heaven, because I know that when we die, that's another thing that we're going to get into later on in the Bible and stuff, we're reincarnated, so to speak, and we get a new body in the new kingdom of heaven.
You get your
Let us
perfect
make
body.
man in our image according to our likeness. So do you think that directly means that this is what God looks like? We are what God looks like.
I wouldn't say this is exactly what God looks like, because I feel like, as we can almost all agree with, as times has changed, man has changed. From cavemen, we have looked totally different. People have gotten taller, people have gotten chubbier, people have gotten crueler even. People have gotten ruder. It's just changing with the times. So I don't think that we look exactly how God looked when Adam and Eve were here.
That's a good point. All right. So now we're moving. We're still in the same chunk. We're on verse 27. So God created man. What would those be called? That's a good question, I guess. So there's the chapters. So we're in chapter 1, and then there's the verses. What would each paragraph, I guess. So we're still in the same paragraph.
Paragraph, 27. Chapter 1, paragraph 27.
So, well, it's verse 27.
Or verse, yeah.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "See, I have given you every herb that you..." Oh, okay, this is the one. "See, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food. Also, to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food," and it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the 6th day.
So I want to pause on that. Talking through verse 29 through 31, it is explaining kind of, now I'm not a vegan whatsoever. I will eat meat. I will never disagree with anyone who doesn't eat meat, though, from these 3 verses, because it is explaining that in the beginning God did interpret that no animal was to be eaten, that it was only seed-bearing fruits and or vegetables that was supposed to be eaten, is what it was explaining within verse 29, 30, and 31, saying that every, what is it here, "And every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat." It's explaining as well, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." Not once explaining that we would be eating each other.
But it also goes and talks about fill the earth and subdue it back on verse 28. Then God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth."
It's just saying have dominion, you have control.
Yeah.
Hence, what is it?
I mean, we'll end up getting into it later anyways, though, too, but Jesus also fed
Fish.
all of the people fish.
Yeah,
so
but that was after Adam and Eve.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, we'll see if it goes more into detail about specifically, like, not eating animals or just eating fruit.
Yeah.
But now we are moving on to chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Which is you, good sir.
All right. Let me get this set up. All right, so chapter 2. "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all of his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah.
Havila, I think.
Yeah, Havilah.
We're
where there is
definitely going to
gold.
come across a lot of words that are hard to pronounce.
Hard to pronounce, yeah.
But that's part of learning.
And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium.
Bdellium? Yeah, that is. Bdellium.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Bdellium and the onyx stone.
I think that onyx stones.
Onyx stones, okay. And the name of the second river of Gihon, the same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is
Hiddekel. Yeah. I read ahead and I was wondering what you were going to pronounce that one as. Good job.
All right, so verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is it which goeth towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river of Euphrates. And the Lord
Or is
God...
that the Euphrates?
Euphrates? Who knows?
I think that might be Euphrates.
And the Lord God took the man and
Bless
put
you.
him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayst freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt I can't talk today.
Good.
All right. Thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God
Well,
said...
then let's pause there for a quick second, because every time they mention the tree of knowledge of good and evil, I think it'll be interesting to make it a note in our minds to see if there's anywhere where it specifically describes what the fruit looks like. Because everybody, when you see it depicted in things, it's like an apple. It's always an apple. But from my understanding, from other people that I've heard talk about this, it's never really described as an apple. So why people just automatically chose to go with an apple, I mean, I know it's a very common fruit on the earth, so maybe that's why people just kind of decided to, just default to that. But it would be interesting to just pay attention every time that it mentions the tree of knowledge of good and evil to see if it ever describes what the fruit looks like. You know what I mean?
So I don't know if they ever actually...
I'm going to let Crypto in, but you can just keep going.
Yeah, within Genesis, I don't think they actually explain what the fruit was. I think that is the big question everyone wonders. Because a lot of people will say that they think it was from the Adam's apple. The reason why God gave us an Adam's apple, or men Adam's apple, was because we ate an apple, which was the knowledge of good and bad. But then again, a lot of people disagree with that because that was a man-created term. We created saying that, oh, that little bump is called an Adam's apple. The Bible didn't say that.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what that fruit is. I don't know if anyone does, but it may actually say it. So who knows? It could actually say it in the Bible.
And for all we know, maybe it could be some type of a fruit that we'd never seen before with our own eyes, because maybe it was something that only grew in the Garden of Eden, specifically on this particular tree.
That, or when God flooded the earth with Noah, which we will read later, what happens if that was taken away? It killed that plant, and we don't get that plant anymore.
True. Good point. So now we're on... I think we're on verse 18? Yeah.
Yeah, 18. Okay. Verse 18. And the Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be the one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. I think we need to reiterate the not ashamed part for before they sinned.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Well, then reiterate it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is it's saying we're not ashamed, but when they ate of the apple or whatever that fruit was, they believed that being naked was a sin. So they hid from God because they were naked.
This is true. And they were not ashamed.
They were not ashamed during this time.
So, partway through chapter 2, in between verse 7 and 8, is there a title change in yours, or does it just go through? Because mine says Life in God's Garden. I don't know if mine just...
Mine doesn't,
because
say
I know
that.
Different, like mine is, I think mine's just the, mine's the New King James
Yeah, the
version.
New King James. Yeah, mine's the original KJV,
okay.
So I think mine's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it all essentially says the same thing, and that's one thing. If anybody's reading along with us, depending on which copy of the Bible you have, there are several different versions and stuff.
But this will be a good thing too.
So you as you're reading along, you might see things worded slightly differently. You might see things called different things too. Like I noticed, where was it? There was somewhere in here. There was a there it is. So chapter 2, verse 13. In mine, it says the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one which goes around the whole land of Cush. And I know yours says something different.
Yeah, mine says, in the name of the second river of Gihon, the same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia.
So... I mean, that'll be interesting. We'll have to look up and see if Cush and Ethiopia are generally the same thing.
Now, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I can't remember. I forgot. Lost train of thought.
It happens. This was our first time doing the read through. But yeah, we don't have a set schedule yet for this necessarily every week yet. But I mean, let's see what we're about 2:30 and stuff, because we do go to church. Well, I go to church in the mornings, but we'll try to generally keep this around the same time, like every afternoon, every Sunday afternoon, weekly. And next week, though, we're going to be going into the temptation and fall of man. We'll go through chapters 3 and 4 at least.
Oh, yeah.
We go into the murders of Cain and Abel, which that's an interesting story. I know I've already read through that. It is definitely interesting seeing all the different connections, because I know some people have had to have seen what was that comedy movie that they did that was about Cain and Abel. Did you ever see that movie?
I don't think so.
It had the guys from Breaking Bad in it. It had McLovin was in it, and what's his name when he was I forget his name, but it was kind of funny. But I think it just focused on Cain and Abel. Like one of them was, I think McLovin was Cain and somebody else was Abel. It might have even had Seth Rogen in it too. Okay. It was one of those kind of comedy movies.
Okay.
Like it was just like one of those over the top comedy movies. But anyways, it's just interesting to like look back and like remember like movies about like Cain and Abel, for example, and then like as you're reading through the Bible, you realize Cain and Abel, um, they were the sons of Adam and Eve. So it's just funny, like I'm not funny, but it's just cool, like going through and like seeing the genealogy and stuff of like the different people and like how it led up through history and stuff. Like to me, the history of the Bible is very interesting too. Like it's cool to me to be able to read the Bible and like go back and look at like historical documents and like compare it and stuff to see
Yeah,
like
it's not only is it fascinating for that, it's also the fact that it is such an old book, regardless of how you look back at dates. It is still a very old book. So
Yeah.
it is awesome to just read it knowing that this book has been around longer than any author that you know today. So it's pretty cool.
For me, one thing that I learned when I started reading the Bible again, see, I went to youth group when I was a little bit younger than you were. When I was Jacob's age, I went to youth group, and that's for me. That's when I accepted Christ and started to want to learn more and stuff. Um, but it's funny. I didn't know, because I was too young. I guess maybe I didn't connect the dots. I didn't know that as when you go by the new when you read like the New Testament and stuff, if you're a Christian and you read the New Testament and stuff, some people I guess don't necessarily understand how connected we are as Christians to the Jewish community and why Christians and Jews are, considered brothers and sisters in the eyes of God, and why the Jewish people are so protected of a community, again, in the eyes of God. But because technically speaking, if you're a Christian, you accept Christ, you're also part of the Jewish community too. You're technically part Jewish too, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but because of the Old Testament, because all of the Old Testament is what came before Jesus. Jesus was a Jew. All of his disciples and stuff were Jews. So the Old Testament is technically, if you follow the Old Testament, that's what the Jewish community and
Well,
stuff
this
follows and believes. That's like the Torah and the Tanakh and stuff like that.
well, that's why I think we have such a strong alliance with Israel.
Yeah.
Is because we do have the same religion. In a sense, it is the same religion.
To an extent.
To an extent. It's not
The only
exact, but
difference
it
is the Jews just don't believe that Jesus was the Messiah.
Yeah. That's the only difference. So that's why I believe we have such a strong alliance, is because they can respect us and we can respect them.
And it's, dare I bring up, it's sad too that, maybe sad's not the right word that I'm looking for. It's interesting, but also sad, I guess, that Jesus does, which, by the way, mini Jesus.
Oh yeah, mini Jesus. Mini Jesus.
Mini Jesus. But to me, it's interesting and also sad how Jesus is referenced. That's what makes him as a real person more believable, is how many different historical and religious texts he's referenced in, which we are way jumping ahead because we are only in Genesis and now
Yep.
we're all of a sudden talking about Jesus.
Yep.
But I mean, that's fine, but still.
It's
that's
good
kind
to
of
just
what
talk.
this is for. We're just
Good
kind
to
of talking.
talk. Yeah.
But how many different historical things and how many different religious texts Jesus is referenced in? Like, the Jews recognize him as a person, and even in the Quran, like the Muslims and stuff, he shows up, but he's just a prophet in
Yeah.
the Quran. He's
So
not,
what we can do is we can go based off of every question, the big questions of the Bible, and what we can do is like say what we think and answer our own questions or the bigger questions. Like, for instance, like how we differ from Israel and their religion is they don't believe that Jesus was Messiah.
yeah.
Can we then read the Bible and interpret for ourselves if Jesus was actually Messiah?
Mm-hmm.
We could do it ourselves and believe. Now that's where we could be exactly what the Jewish community is, which is exactly believing that Jesus was not the Messiah. Or we can stay with our religion, which is the usual Baptist Christianity, is that Jesus was Messiah.
That's why I think it'll be interesting as we're reading through the Old Testament and stuff to just maybe that's another thing that we can take note of is every time we feel like there's a direct reference to Jesus, almost like a foretelling, like almost like a prophetic verse. Like there was one that I don't remember off the top of my head. I would have to pull it up and bring it up. I'll bring it up next week for our next week's session because we're going to wrap up here in just a second. But there was one verse, and it's a viral video going around too, where this guy is talking about like, oh, if Jesus is the Messiah and everything, how come he's never brought up in the Old Testament and stuff? And a guy brings up a verse. I can't remember what verse it is. I read it to you though, because it was to me it's one of the most powerful ones in the Old Testament that references Jesus, where it's talking about the things that God's done and stuff, but then it specifically says something about how like you will know his son's name or something like that. So it's like, to me, I think that would be cool too, like as we're reading Goosebumps, as we're reading the Old Testament, to make a side note and write down every time we think a line directly sort of almost prophesize the coming of Christ, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that would be
makes
kind of
sense.
cool.
That makes sense. That does. It would be
So,
cool.
Do you have any other?
Not as of right now, no. We're just at the beginning, just
Yeah.
starting out, so there's not too many questions. It's straightforward. They're just talking about the creation of life and the creation of animals and how we came to be. So I think everyone understands what the first 2 chapters of the Bible stands for and what he was trying to get at. So
Yeah. And we promise as we go along, these streams will get a little bit more easier to watch.
Old
They'll be a
Testament
little
is
bit more
boring.
professional looking. Well,
Well,
I
it
mean, not
is.
necessarily the reading, the content and stuff from the Bible.
There's no action.
I'm more talking about our camera setups will be a little bit better. It'll be a little bit
Oh, okay. I
a
see
little
what
bit
you
more
mean.
polished next
Little
time.
bit.
We won't be holding our microphones, and
Nope.
we're just getting started with
Just
this.
getting
but
started.
Yeah, tune in every week if you
Every
want to read
Sunday.
along, and
Around 1, 2 p.m. most of the time.
yeah,
Not set.
sometime around noon.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So, we will see you
We
guys
will see you.
next week.